Virgo. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for July of 2022. We are the astrologers of Pandora Astrology. I'm Jamie Kale Miller. I'm in Berkeley, California.
And I'm Julia Mijas in San Francisco.
Well, Virgo, if this is your sun sign, not your rising sign, then your annual mop-up period is about to start later on this month. That's the 30 days before your birthday, and it's the time when the biggest changes tend to happen, and a lot of energies are swirling around. As your new year is about to start, it's a great time to get your annual birthday reading. You can find a link for that in the YouTube description below. Well, we have tons to talk about, beginning with a couple of asteroid goddesses. One of them is Ceres, which is moving into Leo this month. And here she is. She's going to be exiting Cancer and moving into Leo. And that happens on the 21st, right about here. There. And when Ceres moves into Leo, I think it's important to watch your spending because Leo is a rather spendy sign that likes luxury items. So that's a caution. It's happening in your 12th house, which I think sort of underscores the idea of unconscious spending. So beware of that. And also, I want to tell you that even before Ceres moves into Leo, Ceres and the Sun form a conjunction. And this is a special part of Ceres' overall cycle, which lasts, all year. And this is what I like to call Financial Epiphany Day. And it's a really great time for making financial plans, for getting better organized in your finances, for shining the light of conscious awareness on your finances, and just really getting things shipshape in that way. Things can move forward at a good clip. Yeah, so I recommend that. Then the next thing I want to talk about is Juno right here. And I've been mentioning that this was coming for a couple of months, but Juno is moving very, very slowly, traveling along through Pisces. And right here, you see that Juno turns retrograde. Now, this triggers a relationship retrospection period, which goes on for quite a few weeks. It's going to be retrograde until October 23rd. And during this time period, we're all going to be looking into our relationships, especially our committed relationships, and asking ourselves the deeper questions about how, what is the role of this relationship in my life and how's it going? Because Juno is in Pisces, this is going to be really a very intuitive and even, I would say, like spiritually driven retrospection period. And so you'll be asking yourselves questions like, is this person a soulmate of mine? Do I feel like I connect with them on those deep, deep levels? And if so, is there anything that needs to be adjusted about my relationship that will, make me feel like there's a greater soul alignment going on in this partnership? So that process is going to go on from July 24th until October 23rd. And so there's really plenty of time to be figuring these things out. So Julia, you have got some things to say about Mars, Mercury, and Venus, I believe.
Oh, I sure do, Jamie. Hey there, Virgo. Let's begin with Mars. Mars, wherever we have Mars is where we can feel very driven because this is the archetype of the warrior. So it represents your activity, it represents action, and Mars can be associated with some feistiness too, as all warriors can be. So Mars starts the month in your 8th house. It's not there very long, just for the first few days. And if you really want to hear about that transit in depth, you should totally check out our last month's video where we really cover that. But for the first few days of the month, there might be some frustrations and conflict over money in your life. And then after July 4th, Mars enters your 9th house. This is the house of expansion. It represents learning and travel. And now we're in the middle of summer, people might be traveling. And the 9th house can also represent legal affairs too. So with Mars in the 9th for the rest of the month, if you do have the opportunity to travel, it can be a time where you really, really just want to get out and see the world as much as you can. But if there are responsibilities and other things holding you back, then this can definitely be a frustrating time. And you also may run into some conflicts while you go travel too. Maybe some frustrations and disagreements come up. The ninth house it can also represent education and universities. You could also feel very driven to expand yourself in some way, learn something new, for example. But if you are going to school or taking some summer classes or doing any further education in your life, again, Mars in the ninth can bring some frustrations along there, like feeling very, very driven to learn something, but at the same time, maybe not seeing eye to eye with your teachers, for example. Then I have a few things to say about Mercury. Mercury is the planet of communication and mentation. It's moving fast this month. It did a whole retrograde cycle that finished up last month. Thank goodness. We don't have to worry about that now. But it starts the month in your 10th house, and just for the first few days, like Mars. And Mercury in the 10th is generally a time where there may be an increase in communication with the people that you work with. And if you do anything Mercury related, at your job, let's say you do teaching or writing or public speaking, buying and selling, which are all ruled by Mercury, this can be a very productive time. But by the 4th, Mercury is going to shift into your 11th house. And the 11th house is, you know, probably the most social house in the whole 12 houses. And Mercury is actually a very social planet too, since it represents communication and connections with people. You know, Mercury likes to network, likes to sort of, you know, be around friends. So from the 4th on to the rest of the month, Mercury is going to be in your 11th, and there could be an increase in communication in your social networks. You know, maybe you're getting lots of calls from friends. If you're part of any groups, they may be more prominent in your life as well, whether you're playing video games with people or whether you're in any recovery programs. And then July 16th is a very important day. You should mark that one in your calendars, because Mercury will be precisely conjoined the sun. And whenever that happens, and it tends to bookend Mercury retrograde cycles. Like I mentioned earlier, we just sort of finished one last month. And they're known as epiphany days. So days where you might get some sudden insights, revelations, and kind of aha moments. And this is all happening in your 11th house. So it could be that you get some sort of good connections regarding the friends in your life, or perhaps any groups you're a part of. The 11th house is also the house of hopes, wishes, and dreams. So basically your long-term goals, what you're really kind of working for many years towards, that will give you a lot of satisfaction in life. So you could have some revelations about those long-term goals too around that day. So that's why it's important to remember. And I always have a few things to say about Venus. She is the planet of relationships. Everybody always wants to hear about their relationships, I've noticed. And Venus starts the month in your 10th house. So again, 10th house is the house of career. I was mentioning that Mercury is going to be in there for a few days early in the month. Venus is going to be in there for the first 17 days. And with Venus in the 10th, it's a really, really wonderful time to get along well with the people you work with. And if you've had any tensions at work, or maybe have had trouble getting along with colleagues, then this is a really, really nice transit, because Venus likes to harmonize and sort of smooth things over. It could also be a good time to reach out to your boss if you need a favor, you know, better work conditions or a promotion. This would definitely be the time to do it. Then after the 17th, Venus is also going to join Mercury in that 11th house. Overall, I think it's going to be a pretty social month for you, Virgo, with both the social planets Mercury and Venus in your 11th. And she brings a little bit of luck and harmony to your friendships and to the groups you're a part of. So again, you know, this Venus in the 11th can be a time where you really get pleasure and enjoyment from your social networks. She can also give a little bit of luck in helping you to sort of get maybe closer to a long-term goal or something that you've been really working on as well. And for all the single Virgos out there, since the 11th house represents networks, it does have a technological association to it. So this would be a wonderful time for online dating, or even asking your friends if they could introduce you to somebody new. That might be where your love luck comes from this month.
Mm. So let me discuss the moons, beginning with the July 13th full moon in Capricorn, shown right here in your fifth house, which increasingly I'm coming to see this as the house of your personal brand. It's where you discover yourself, find what's real and authentic and true for you, express yourself, and you be creative. And so a full moon here brings a lot of attention to that, a lot of emotion to that. This particular moon we're calling healing with lots of help. And the reason for that is that it involves Chiron, it involves a lot of other, it's a very busy moon, and much of it is supportive, much of it is helpful and harmonious energies during this moon. So even though you might be feeling emotional or even vulnerable about your personal brand and your reputation, especially in your community, your circles of friends, your groups, and that would be signified by the sun over here. This is an opportunity for some really deeper, powerful healing with lots of help and support towards that. On July 22nd, the sun exits Cancer, your 11th house of community, friends, and groups, and moves on into your 12th house. And this really signifies the beginning of your annual mop-up period that I mentioned in the greeting for this horoscope. Your mop-up period is the time when you feel like you want to withdraw, when you want to get closure on the themes of your old year, and the New Year's themes are already starting to rush in, and you may feel the tug of them, but it also feels like not quite time to start those things yet. It can be a very muddy time of your year, and spending some time in introspection is a really, really good idea. So there's the sun entering your 12th house, moving into Leo. And then we have on July 28th, a new moon in Leo right here in your 12th house. New moons, of course, signify the planting of seeds, new beginnings. Seeds are planted in the darkness. And so you don't see results when you plant seeds. You have to wait for things to emerge from that darkness. But this is the last new moon before your birthday, most likely. And, or there may be another, I suppose, if you're a late Virgo. But this is the time to be really going inside, going internal, getting meditative, taking some breaks, getting more sleep, resting more deeply, and just really exploring and shining a light on the insides of yourself, so that when your birthday comes, you're ready to burst upon the scene in the full confidence of who you actually are. All right, that's what we have for you today, Virgo. You can always find our horoscopes on our website, pandoraastrology.com, in the horoscope tab. And if anything in this horoscope makes you want a reading to find out more from Julia or me in a one-on-one session, you can find the readings tab on our website. And you can always find the news of the month on the monthly forecast on our website as well. And until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye-bye.
Bye.